What is up? It is Big Char Trades back with another video, and in this video I am going to be doing a trade recap for all of you. I took a 2.27R trade. I made like $10,100 across all my accounts. I made like 1,200 on my 5 Top Step 150Ks, and then I made like 2.3K on 2 of my Alpha Futures 150Ks, and then I made 700 on my funded futures 50K. So I'm going to be doing a trade recap in this video. I'm going to recap the whole day. And yeah, with that being said, let's get right into the recap. So come into market open, I was obviously bullish. I mean, we literally just hit all-time highs. So I'm not going to, be bearish going into market open. And here is exactly what I saw. So I saw all of these bullish hourly fair value gaps right here. And they were also on ES as well. And then dropping down to the 15-minute, here is what I saw. Wait, let me remove these session indicators. By the way, this is called ICT kill zones and pivots. If you were wondering, I get a few questions about that every video. So dropping down to the 15-minute, here is exactly what I saw. Let me go in replay mode, and then I'll show you guys my executions. Going into 9:30. This is what we had. As you can see, we had this strong bearish SMT. Also, today was CPI, which means that we have access to data lows, right? These data lows right here. CPI is at 8:30 a.m. and data lows and data highs are very, very important. So as you can see right here on ES, we never swept these data highs or data lows, whereas on the NASDAQ, as you can see, we clearly swept those data highs. So since we swept those data highs, I was like, okay, let me short into these data lows, but does anything align with these data lows that I can use for a bullish bias, right? Because I'm not short, right? We're at all-time highs, I'm long. So if I'm long, that means that I don't want the market to dump. I'm not taking a short because that's my long-term bias. I'm taking a short for a scalp for my intraday bias. So what I saw was these hourly fair value gaps. And I was like, okay, like we can build a narrative around here, right? If we swept these data highs, I can have these data lows as my draw for price to go into my final draw, which is these bullish, this bullish hourly fair value gap, right? To then go higher, right? So with that narrative, I was like, okay, let me look for any confluences that support that narrative. So dropping down to the 2-minute time frame, what do we have? We get this 2-minute inversion after sweeping those data highs. That gives me enough thesis to sell. And what happens? My stop is at this high. I get stop rated on the first trade. I get wicked out, right? And then I re-enter my final, TP are these data lows, and price goes ahead and takes those data lows as well to conclude my trade. Now, if you want to see those executions, you can see them right here. As you can see, I got stopped out on that first attempt, right? I got wicked out of the trade. My stop was at this high and I got stop rated, and I was willing to give this trade a second try. So I entered again, and then my stop went at this high here. Let me just draw it out. Go short, 19975. Okay, stop went at this high. Final TP is at this data low. Let me just drag that over. And as you can see, price went ahead and took that for my final TP. Now this was my trade today. And you see how we traded into that hourly gap. And we're currently, we just inverse that hourly gap. Wow. So the market is dumping right now. But as you can see, that is how I aligned my narrative with my confluences. This is why I preach about narrative. I genuinely feel like narrative is the only thing that matters. By the way, that first trade that I got stopped out of, I only took it on my top steps and my funded futures 50K. So that's why my alpha futures P&L is larger than my top step P&L. I think my alpha futures P&L is like 2,200 or 2,400. I'm not sure. Could be 2,800, but my top step P&L is 1,200 because I got stopped out of that first trade. So Yeah, I mean, this is why it's really important to have a narrative when you trade. Like the only reason I took this trade was because I had logic behind it, right? We swept the data highs. We didn't sweep the data highs on ES, right? That's some bearish SMT. We have not swept those data lows yet. So I was like, okay, swept it on the NASDAQ, haven't swept it on ES. Data lows look clear as day. So I'm going to target that. And that was the trade. And my final draw was this hourly gap, which we just inversed. So I'm not really sure where the market wants to go now. But yeah, these were my two trades for today. I went 1 for 2, but still very green day. I think like 10.2K or 10.1K on the day. I'm on a pretty insane winning streak. On Friday, I made like 14.3K. Then on Monday, yesterday, I made like 9K, and then today I make 10K. So I'm on a pretty big winning streak. And obviously, when I say these large numbers, I mean across all accounts. So like every winning day is like, I don't know, 1,500 or something, 1,200. I'm not sure. But with that being said, that concludes the trade recap. If you're new to the channel, if this is the first video you see here, go ahead and subscribe down below. I post trade recaps every single day for every single trade I take. I also, post. I'm gonna start posting vlogs. I post a bunch of other shit. You can just check out my channel if you'd like. If you're already here, if you know me already, then go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know if you took the same trade I took, or if you have anything to say about the trade that I took, or any questions. I literally read all my comments. So if you have absolutely anything to say, just go ahead and say it. And with that being said, this concludes the trade recap from July 15th. Go ahead and subscribe if you're new. Follow me on other socials if you want. If not, that's chill. Have a great rest of your day and happy Tuesday. Peace out.